Greetings. This is the one you've known as Jesus the Christ. Intention is important because it can determine where you put your attention. And where you put your attention is extremely important. It determines your state of consciousness and therefore your experience of life. If you put your attention on the thoughts that run through your head, you'll be in the egoic state of consciousness, in the mind's virtual reality. On the other hand, if you put your attention on what you're experiencing through your body and senses, and through your sixth sense intuitively, you'll be in reality, in presence, and aligned with your divine self and available to receive its guidance. A person's intention can be of various strengths. The stronger your intention is, the more focused your attention will be, and the weaker your intention is, the less focused your attention will be. So then the question is, how do you strengthen your intention? But also it's important to evaluate your intention. Is your intention worthwhile? Sometimes people are intent on things that aren't ultimately important, like getting some material thing they want. If your intentions keep you in the egoic state of consciousness and going after the ego's desires, they'll only improve your life so much, no matter how strong they are. The most important intention, the one that will truly change your life for the better, is to intend to awaken out of the egoic state of consciousness. Intend to be in presence more consistently. This will bring so many gifts, such as peace and happiness, more love, and a stronger intuitive connection with those guiding you on other dimensions. Being in presence, and ultimately awakening, aligns you with your divine self. This is what you really want. This is the worthiest of goals. That's my intention in everything I've written, to help you overcome your addiction to the ongoing commentary in your head, your addiction to living in the virtual reality created by your mind. You'll have to be convinced that this is a worthy goal, however, or your intention to move beyond the egoic state of consciousness will be too weak to make a difference. When your intention to awaken out of the egoic mind is strong, and especially when you declare this intention in a prayer, you'll find your way to the teachers, teachings, and practices that will support you in this. Your intention will attract to you what you need, because spiritual forces will see that you're ready to receive their help, and they'll put the resources you need in front of you. Still, it isn't enough to declare your intention. You have to follow it up with actions. An intention isn't something you state or pray for once, and then you're done with it. A strong intention is one that's made repeatedly throughout your day, and not just in words, but by your actions. For instance, if you pray to awaken out of the ego, or you pray for a deeper connection with those guiding you, that's great. Spiritual forces hear that prayer, and then they look to see how strong your intention is. Are you also doing things in your life that support this intention? A certain amount of effort on your part is necessary to further yourself on the spiritual path. It doesn't always seem this way, since you hear stories of people who've had spiritual experiences or who've awakened without doing anything. However, these individuals probably did many things in other lifetimes to bring themselves to where they are now in their spiritual growth. Maybe you won't have to do as much meditation or as many spiritual practices to lay the groundwork for awakening out of the ego as some, and maybe you will. This isn't something you can know. But doing practices such as meditation is a way of demonstrating your sincerity and intention to awaken. Your willingness to do such practices is a sign of being ready to awaken as much as it is a catalyst for awakening. Making meditation and other practices a part of your life is evidence of a strong intention, and doing these practices daily strengthens this intention. How much do you want to increase your alignment with your divine self and awaken? What are you willing to do? Those who are passionate about this are the ones most likely to succeed because they're willing to make doing what's necessary a priority in their life. If you're not willing to do such practices, then maybe it isn't time for you to awaken, and that's fine. There's a time for everything. It can be useful to investigate your motives for being on the spiritual path. Progress on the spiritual path brings healing and develops one's ability to be in presence as well as one's intuitive abilities. The spiritual path will also help you live in greater peace, love, and contentment. What do you believe or hope being on the spiritual path will do for you? What do you think awakening will do for you? The irony is that true spiritual progress doesn't do anything for you, your ego, but rather annihilates the drive to be someone special. Sometimes people pursue spiritual matters to become special or gain certain powers for themselves. But if they succeed, the booby prize is discovering that they're no more special than anyone else, and that in fact, they don't exist separate from anyone or anything at all. So far, I've mentioned 2 ways of strengthening your intention. Prayer, asking for help in achieving what you intend, and taking steps to create what you intend. In this case, doing practices that will advance you on the spiritual path and reap its benefits. Devotion to spiritual practices has many rewards, and a better intuition and connection with those guiding you is one of the most beneficial of these rewards. As I said, your intention will determine where your attention goes. This also works in the opposite direction. When you put your attention on what will fulfill your intention, your focused attention will reinforce your intention because your attention will achieve results. Your attention will be rewarded, and that will further inspire you to continue intending what you're intending. For example, if you intend to feel gratitude more frequently, and you focus your attention often on the subtle experience of gratitude within yourself, you're rewarded with that experience, and your intention is strengthened. Or if your intention is to become more intuitive, then giving your attention to any subtle energetic experiences you're having will result in becoming more intuitive. You'll build this muscle, so to speak, and your intention will be rewarded and therefore strengthened because it succeeded. When something works, you keep doing it. This is how positive habits are established. It's important to become aware of what you're already intending, perhaps unconsciously, so that you can make more conscious intentions if what you're intending, consciously or otherwise, isn't having the results you'd like. The way to discover what you're already intending is to pay attention to, notice, where your thoughts go, or what else you spend time attending to. What do you spend the most time thinking about? Your looks, clothes, yours and other people's, your bank account, your success, your popularity, likes, how comfortable you feel, your weight, food, how neat or clean your environment is, how much you have to do, what you think other people are thinking about you, what happened in the past, what you want your future to be like. Or do you spend your time noticing the beauty in the world? Do you notice the sounds, colors, smells, and sensations in your environment? Do you notice the flowers, the birds, the clouds, the environment around you? Do you notice the subtle joy, love, gratitude, or peace in your chest? Do you notice what's arising in you to do? Where is your attention most often? On thoughts or on your present moment experience? When your attention is on your present moment experience rather than on your thoughts, you'll feel relaxed, at ease, content, and possibly in awe and gratitude at being alive. You may also notice any subtle communications your divine self is sending your way. An insight might drop into your quiet mind, or you may feel inspired to do something. Although the divine self isn't constantly communicating something intuitively to you, if you spend enough time not being involved in your thoughts, you'll catch the intuitive communications it does send your way from time to time. You never know when these will appear. They appear in their own time, and you can't summon them at will. Suddenly, you know something out of the blue. That's how the intuition works. It isn't something you can turn on when you want an answer to something. Rather, you have to spend sufficient time tuned in and available to receive these intuitions. Then during those moments, you just might receive something. Intuitions are important because they're the alternative to the voice in your head, another way of being in the world besides marching to the voice in your head. Everyone is intuitive to one extent or another and uses their intuition, but you can learn to let your intuition lead you through life. You can learn to be in the flow rather than always bucking it. This is how those who are awakened naturally live. Learning to be in the flow lays the groundwork for awakening and a much happier and easier life. You've been given this great gift of intuition, this guidance from above. Those who take advantage of this feel connected, at peace, and in the flow of life. This is where the spiritual path leads, not to being someone special with special gifts, but to being someone who is content, at ease, and who follows his or her innate wisdom, someone who glides through life and has plenty of energy and love left over to share with others. Thank you for your intention to grow and your attention to this message. I am with you always.